Good morning. Today I want to read this topic from the Language of Letting Go book from Melody Beattie called You Are Lovable. Before we talk about love, I'm going to show you something that is very lovable, and that is Whisper being lovable.
Hi, I'm taking a nap here in my mom's lap. I don't understand she wants me to show everybody how beautiful I am because I'm lovable.
Okay, all right. I'll try to stop petting Whisper for a second. You are lovable. Yes, you. Just because people haven't been there for you, just because certain people haven't been able to show love for you in ways that worked, just because relationships have failed or gone south, does not mean that you are unlovable. You've had lessons to learn. Sometimes those lessons have hurt. Let go of the pain, open your heart to love. You are lovable. You are loved. Today, I will tell myself I'm lovable. I will do this until I believe it. So let me break down this reading a little bit. According to my own experience, that's all I can share with you guys. The beginning of it talks about that we go back through the layers of these negative things: shame, fear, rage, hurt, and negative incantations. What exactly are incantations? So we've all heard about affirmations, right? Affirmation is a phrase affirming something. You are beautiful, you are smart, you are always so organized, or it can be a negative affirmation. You are stupid, you are fat, you are ugly, you're not good enough, they don't like you. I don't know if you guys have ever had any of these thoughts, but I certainly have. So affirmations our thoughts are just a phrase. What exactly is an incantation? Incantation is a little bit stronger than an affirmation. So I'm happy, okay, fine. Do I really believe it? Not exactly. An incantation is when the affirmation is escalated and is joined through the belief. A lot of times, this is done with physiology or being at the gym, but overall, how we move our bodies. So, for example, have you ever been to a sermon or a seminar and you've heard a speaker and the speaker was fantastic and you're like, wow, I love everything he or she said and I'm going to put into practice. And then as soon as you leave, you forget about everything. You're like, what was it that he was saying? Like he was talking about this thing was really great. I forgot. Okay. So that is one example of hearing a message and not really absorbing a lot of it. However, when we go to the same place, same seminar, and we're taking notes, we are writing things down. So we are moving our body, right? Physiology is involved. We have a higher percentage of absorbing that message and we remember a few more things. Now, when we do a third thing and we repeat the information, so we are there, the seminar, we listen to the information, we write it down, we take notes, and then we share with somebody else. We even have a higher percentage of absorbing that information. That is scientifically proven. So, incantation is when an affirmation is absorbed and it becomes a belief. So we have beliefs that are good for us, right? We believe we're capable. We believe there's hope. We believe that if we study, we are going to learn something. We believe that if we work hard, we're going to have a good result. We believe that if we're good people in society, that is a good thing for us. But what about limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are negative beliefs that have been absorbed by our subconscious mind and will keep us at bay from reaching our full potentials. God has given us, each of us, you, me, everybody, different gifts. And each individual is unique. There will never be somebody like you. There never was somebody exactly like you. And you are very unique. But because of the limiting beliefs, we may full expression. We're not going to be completely ourselves because we're afraid. If we are, they're not going to accept us. I'm not going to belong. I'm not going to be good enough. I'm be a part of. So we limit ourselves and we bring ourselves down and we shrink a little bit each day to the point where some of these incantations that were transformed into limiting beliefs will keep a lot of people from reaching their full potential, from being able to shine, being able to be a force for good in their community, being able to express themselves in a meeting where there's other people involved because we have fear or shame or something that has kept us down. Now, the reading is talking about until we can stay in these negative incantations until we discover the exuberant, unencumbered, delightful, and lovable child that was and still is. Children are amazing teachers, and they show us exactly how vulnerable and how pure they are and how beautiful that is. So, for some reason or another, we grow up and we learn all these rules of how we have to behave to be accepted in society, and that we have to follow all these rules, and we are our potentials and our expressions, our personalities are kept at bay. So everybody conforms to the rules. Sit there in school, be quiet, don't express yourself, and learn from the teacher. But as we grow older, we know that in business, if you just sit there and you're quiet and you just watch, you're going to miss out on a lot of opportunities because there are people there acting. There are people there walking and talking and doing and expressing themselves, and they are creating businesses, they are getting clients, they are making money. And if you don't do something, you're going to stay behind, right? So we learn something in childhood, but then we learn different things as we grow older. Getting in touch with that innocence, with that vulnerability. Because, just as an example, if I look at myself in the mirror today and I say, you got it, or you're going to have a great day, or you're going to be very successful today, I don't know what it is, but there is a barrier there. Okay. I don't know if you feel me, but humor me for a moment. If I think about the Bianca child and I say, wow, Bianca, you're doing the best you can. Good job. Keep going. Oh, you fell? That's okay, girl. Get up. We're here for you. I got your back. You're doing great. I really believe that. Like, I truly believe that message because I'm talking to the child. And for some reason, I have no judgment for that child. I have no criticism for that child. But Bianca, the adult, oh man, I have so much judgment and criticism on that one. I'm like, why did you say that? Why did you act like that? They're not going to like you because you said that way. You should have said that this way. And it's hard. It's not easy to get out of that, because it's a learned behavior. It's something that sticks to our subconscious mind. It's a limiting belief. So for us to learn how to get out of that, to discover, like it's saying here, to discover the child again, to uncover those things. One way that I love to do it is through meditation. There is a wonderful meditation by one of my favorites, Jason Stephenson, on YouTube. It's free. It's called Change Meditation. I'll put it here on the description. It's a gift for you guys. He does a wonderful job. And this change meditation is a very specific practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness is one type of meditation which teaches us how to live in the present moment. There's no judgment. You don't have to breathe any type of way. You just are in the present, however you may be. He teaches you how to picture that there is a light or there is a being that loves you unconditionally with no judgment and is looking at you with love. And he is telling you to go through your emotions, however they are today. So, what is it that you're feeling? Do you have shame? Do you have a heavy heart? Are you in doubt? Are you anxious? Are you trying to accomplish all these things and think you just can't do enough for today? Or are you okay today? Are you happy? Are you joyful? So, however you're feeling, he says that's okay. Just keep breathing, keep receiving this unconditional love, and then you're going to move on because our feelings are like layers. We don't have to stay stuck. So maybe I have anger or fear or shame, and I don't have to stay there. I can acknowledge it and face it and say, oh, yeah, I do have fear for this situation. I do feel like I didn't measure up on this situation. But that's okay. I'm that child that is receiving unconditional love. And I can just move on to the next thing that I'm going to do. And every time I practice this meditation, I walk in somebody and I walk out a little bit different. So it's like layers and layers and layers because I'm an adult now and I grew up with many, many limiting beliefs and trauma and a difficult childhood. And there is PTSD and anxiety and all these things that I accumulated. So I can't just get rid of them overnight. But with the help of this unconditional love that lives inside of me, and that I can receive these little healings. And there is no limits in meditation. There is no specific goal. Oh, you get here and then you be cured. It's just a different experience every time. So I do invite you to check that video out. Okay. So as we continue going here, after we discovered that child and we have gone through the fear, the shame, the rage, the hurts, and the negative incantations to find this delightful, lovable child, exuberant, full of life and honesty and vulnerability. The reading talks about you are lovable. Yes, you are. So God has created each of us uniquely, right? With gifts, with talents. Everybody has different talents. Some people have a great sense of humor. Some people know how to make somebody else smile. Some people are great writers, speakers, listeners. However, the gift may show up. One thing that is interesting today at church, the priest was talking about different fruit trees and how God has created each fruit tree a different tree. So a fig tree will produce figs, a coconut tree will produce coconuts. And God, when He checks for the fruits, He's never going to check a fig tree for coconuts, for example. And I know that may sound very simple, but it made a lot of sense to me because I don't have to be comparing myself to other people or trying to do what they're doing and trying to get the results they're getting. I have my own unique personality. And through this personality, I may touch other people that will resonate with me. So just because I'm different, it doesn't mean that I'm not producing fruits. Let's say I'm a fig tree and I want to produce figs. So I have to stop trying to produce coconuts because that is a waste of time. So, very, very important part of this reading. Just because people haven't been there for you, or just because certain people haven't been able to show love for you in ways that worked, does not mean that you are unlovable or just because relationships have failed. So, three key points that sometimes will create this negative incantation of us thinking we're not good enough and we're not lovable just because people haven't been there for you. So, people are in different paths in a journey. We are all in this journey called life, but we are all given different paths, different lessons. Sometimes, I don't know if you ever seen somebody that you haven't seen in years, and you may see them and be like, wow, you changed a lot. And the person may be like, oh, really? I didn't really notice, or whatever the case may be. But people are always growing, always learning in different paths. So maybe somebody wasn't there for you. There was a lesson there, or whatever the reason may be. Maybe we don't have all the answers, but that doesn't mean that you were unlovable. They weren't there because they weren't there. We don't know why. And we have to respect and accept everybody's journey for where they are. We can't have this judgment or thinking or these expectations of how you should have loved me, because expectations will only cause frustration. Because guess what? People are different and we can't expect people to act the way we would like them to act. All we can do is control how we behave and how we act and how we give love and how we share compassion and empathy, not how people should treat us. We have to respect people for being where they are. Number two, this is key for me because certain people haven't been able to show love for you in ways that worked. Okay, so for me, I grew up in a very, you can say, dysfunctional family because, who isn't dysfunctional nowadays? But with all kidding aside, really, it wasn't a very safe environment. There was trauma. To this day, I do have some anxiety and PTSD that comes from not feeling that I was in a safe environment. To me, one of the most peaceful times is when I come home and I close my door. I live by myself with Whisper, and it's just like I can take a breath. I'm home. I'm safe. I'm at peace. God has taken care of me throughout these years. But But when I was a child, I didn't feel that safety in a lot of the environments I was in. So when I didn't receive the love that I thought that would work for me. For example, my mom, God rest her soul, she passed away a few years ago, and very difficult because she was 59 years old, very full of life, a wonderful woman, such an example of humility and faith in my life that I can recognize now that I'm an adult. But when I was a teenager, I used to judge my mom a lot. So why don't you do this or you don't do that? And look at that family, they have this, I don't have this. And I remember hugging my mom and feeling that she was very rigid. Like she would just be like stiff. And I'll be like, Mom, you need to like soften up, you need to let me hug you and like you need to hug me back. And kind of like teaching a child how to behave. And my mom was like that. She was kind of like a child. And I remember that we had a conversation once and she told me how she didn't have that type of love and she wasn't shown that. And her father was very rigid to the point that he was violent. And she didn't receive that love. So how could I expect that she would give me what she didn't have it? She was never taught. Nobody has ever given it to her so that she would have it. And now that she had it, she could share. Does that make sense? So a lot of times we walk around this earth trying to get people to give us what they don't have. And that is a recipe for failure. It's a recipe for frustration, really, because we can't expect for people what they don't have, right? That was a very difficult lesson for me to learn. But when I finally learned, I was like, oh, okay, I see that. So what can I do? I can give her what I have received. And maybe I didn't receive it from her exactly. I received it from teachers or from God or from seeking. And by having that softness, I could share that. And I could still share that with other people. So, number two rule, just because certain people haven't been able to show the love, and maybe she showed the love, but at that time it didn't work for me because I was a teenager, right? And I wanted it a certain way. Now I would take anything from my mom. Like, and this is another thing I'll tell you guys. I lost my mom. I think it's been 7 years. And I remember very like specific simple moments that today are such a gift, like in my memory. For example, my mom used to go to church like Monday, weekends, during the week, she would do a lot of service at church. And once in a while, I would pop up like on a Monday night to the church and never like really tell her about it. I remember just her looking back and being like, she had the best smile just to see that I was there as a surprise for her. And that memory is so rich, I cannot even express it into words. And what I'm trying to say is a lot of times we miss the gifts that we have today because we're thinking about things we don't have. We are cultivating a spirit of lack instead of abundance. We go on Facebook and it's lacking. Like, oh, I like that house, I like that car, I like this relationship, I would like to have this and this and that. And God is like, listen, I gave you this. Look at this gift I gave you. For example, years ago, Bianca, I gave you your mom. Look at her smile when she looks at you. Look at her face. And I couldn't see because I was looking at what I didn't have. So pay attention. Look at the gifts because God says in the Bible, I trust you with this, I will trust you with more. I will find the right phrase and put it down here. But first, I trust you with this. So when God gives us something that He's trusting us with, what is it who is in your life today? God has trusted you with these gifts. Cherish them, appreciate them, learn how to be grateful and to be abundant about it. Because one day they might not be there, and you're like looking back, oh, why did I care about that thing? I was trying to get into a relationship with some guy when my mom was in my life. It's a lesson. I'll tell you guys, it's a lesson. So we have number one, number two, and then number three. Just because relationships have failed or gone sour does not mean that you are unlovable. You've had lessons to learn, and sometimes those lessons have hurt. Yes, especially romantic relationships. A lot of times we can equate that with our value, with our identity, because personal relationships, they touch our self-esteem and who we think we are and those limiting beliefs again. So when they go sour, we think, oh, I'm not good enough. Yeah, he didn't love me, or he traded me for a newer model, or whatever the case may be. Or that girl is prettier than I am. Oh, he's gonna look at her. And those are all doubts and they're insecurities that are common, but they're not the truth, right? So we have to try to stay away from that and cultivate better beliefs, have a better belief system. Open your heart to love. You are lovable, you are loved. Those insecurities, they do come, but I try not to live there because love is not only in a romantic relationship. And a lot of times, God's will for us is not exactly what we think it is. Maybe He wants some people to be single for, maybe He wants them to share. And when we are in a relationship with someone, a romantic relationship, a lot of our attention, our energy, we want to please them. We want to make them happy. We want them to feel important and loved. So maybe God has another mission. He's like, okay, not right now. I want you to do this. So let's not get a distraction going right now. Let's just focus on my mission for you. And that's okay. I've learned to accept that God has all the power and that He is He knows me exactly how I am. He knows all my good things, all my bad things, and He can have somebody for me if that's His will. And if it isn't, that's fine too, because love is found in many places. One place that I find love is with animals and with children. They are so pure and innocent, and I can connect with these beings in a way that I can't connect with adults, for example. I don't know if this is the child in me or whatever it may be, but I just go to the dog park and I play with these guys and I talk to the children, I play with the children. And to me, that's just a healing experience. Okay. I know it may seem a little weird, but I did have a dog. My dad did something with the dog that was very traumatic. And to this, now that I'm an adult, I can make my own choices. And I find healing to be doing these things that are very simple with children, with dogs. And I find love in doing service. For example, I volunteer to read at church. Sometimes it's a simple thing, a simple service that we can do, opening the door for somebody else. I know it may sound cheesy, but when we have the right intention in our hearts, when we have a spirit of service and of giving, not receiving all the time, we may find love in these situations. And really, it's a very fulfilling life. You don't have to be in a relationship to have love. You don't have to receive love to have love. You can receive love by giving love. And that is true. It's all I can say is that it is true. And there are very difficult moments sometimes where people may make you feel a little small, make you feel like you're not good enough, or even be jealous because you're being like that. Like I've had people just be uncomfortable because like, why are you smiling, or why are you so this, or why, and they just look at me differently because I don't know what the reasons are. But don't let your lights be dimmed by other people's insecurities, because we all have them. Okay. And the moment that we are willing to get to know people for who they really are with an open heart, with as little judgment as we can, because I'm going to say sometimes it's hard to have no judgment. Whoever says they don't have judgment is probably not telling you the truth, but trying our best to be gentle, to be humble today, because love is everywhere and the world is abundant. So let's not live in a spirit of lack. Let's be grateful for the little things we have today, for the family, the friends, and the beautiful world we live in. So have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time.